So when I was growing up, I pretty much grew up in very isolated places. When I was 8 to 10 years old, starting at around that time, I was always kept in a very isolated, lonely places. My parents always thought that it was best for my growth that I was not kept with my parents, because a lot of astrologers and people who read your palms, they told my parents that it's best to separate me from them when I was growing up. It sucks when you're a child looking to find people that you love around you, but that's a different matter. What it did give me, though, was it gave me a lot of time to just stay outside and look at the stars, look at nature, just because of the fact that I had a lot of time and not many friends. Yeah, those were the days. So I did get a chance to look at stars, the moon, and just thinking about astrology gave rise to my curiosity in astronomy. And I kept on wondering, what's out there? What created all of this? The universe seems so vast. I could see so many stars in the night sky. And mind you, I was living in a place where you could see so many thousands and thousands of stars in the sky because there is no light pollution. It was always fascinating just looking at the stars in the middle of the night. What created all of this? First question. How is it gonna end? And what are we even doing here in the first place in this vastness? I wasn't even remotely aware of the situation. How big the universe was, that is something I did not even comprehend even a little bit, which I realized, I'm still realizing now, just the vastness of everything. I always thought, what is going on with the universe? Like, if I take a rocket, if I build a rocket now, just take off straight in one direction in the universe, how am I going to hit that wall? How am I going to hit that wall, and what is beyond that wall? Because I would imagine even if you hit something concrete, means that the other side is still considered part of the universe. That wall cannot go on forever. So those are the questions that I grew up with, and I always try to find the answers. I have studied quite a lot on this subject matter, so I'm just gonna explain some of the things that I've understood myself, and if I made any mistakes, let me know. And if you like that kind of stuff, just subscribe, give that like button a click. In this video, I'm gonna talk about the ways that the universe could potentially end. We have heard about Big Bang, we have heard how we came to be in the current state of things many times. The general consensus out there is that there are probably 3 different ways the universe could potentially go. There are some ways that are more favored than the other, and I'm going to talk about them in just a minute. Let's go over the ones that we first thought was going to happen, and then we'll go over what the modern consensus is in the subject matter. Before Hubble came along, the consensus was that universe was eternal. Everything that exists out there is probably just the Milky Way galaxy that we live in. It was static, nothing was moving away from anything. It always has been, will always be. And when Hubble made the telescope and started to look out in the universe, fascinating thing came into emergence. And we learned that not only is universe not static and fixed in a single place, it is actually expanding outwards. Even crazier fact than that is that it is not only expanding outwards, it is accelerating in that particular expansion. So that could mean a few things. To conclude, first, something is pushing universe outwards. Means that if we rewind the clock back, everything should come together to a single point where universe could have potentially started. That gave rise to the theory of Big Bang. It's not really a bang per se, it's just everything was in one single spot, just expanding outward from that point on. There is no boom or anything like that. So Big Bang is probably a little bit misleading in that terms. So we figured that out. Now the question is, what the hell is actually pushing universe outwards, and is it even going to stop? You'd think that there are so many stuff that we see in the universe, so many galaxies, planets, stars, black holes, supermassive black holes that are just vacuums of the universe sucking everything in it. But we have come to realize that the matter that we see is actually so little fraction of what encompasses the entire universe that it is not even making a dent in the expansion rate of the universe. In fact, the other stuff that is not the baryonic matter, the matter that we consider, what we see and everything are called baryonic matter, they are very, very small fraction of the composition of the universe. More accurately, they are probably like 4% of the universe. Other 96% of the things we can't touch, we can't detect, we just call them dark matter and dark energy because we just don't understand it. So that 4% of the matter is not going to pull everything back together, which means the idea of going through the universe that is cyclic, say that it expands and at some point the matter pulls everything together, black hole is going to help, and it's just going to pull everything together to create another crunch, and that crunch will lead to another explosion of Big Bang, and it keeps on repeating. Unfortunately, that doesn't look like it's going to happen either, which leads us to only possibility: everything is going to keep on expanding forever and ever until there is nothing to expand into, and that is called the Big Rip. In the Big Rip, not only are all the galaxies, even the individual galaxies, they are just gonna fly apart. The Milky Way is going to be the only thing within the observable universe that we can even observe, and nothing actually exists. Ironically, just the way that we thought the universe was before Hubble came along. The idea that was there before was just it was way ahead of its time. We have also learned about things like dark energy and dark matter, which also tells us that potentially at some point in the future, not only is the galaxy going to be a lonely place, the fact that the dark energy, dark matter has potential to rip apart everything, even on the subatomic levels. All the planets, all the stars, they will die out. Every matter that exists, they will fizzle out, and the universe would be as homogeneous, as flat as it can possibly be. And we are not anywhere close to that situation. And at that point, that's when you consider the universe is absolutely dead. We don't know if that might give rise to a new universe in some ways, where the quantum fluctuation is gonna just start another Big Bang, or there are lots of other theories which I might talk about in the other episodes of the channel. That looks like the most likely scenario on how the universe is going to end. What are your thoughts? I'm really curious. What do you think is going to be the end of the universe? If you have any thoughts regarding this matter, put them down in the comments. And if you have any questions or any suggestions on the things that you'd like to talk about, also let me know. Send me a message, put them down in the comments. I would love to talk about this sort of stuff. Thanks a lot for watching. I really, really appreciate it. And hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Thanks a lot. Bye.